What's good with it, Black Goose TV family? You already know it's your boy Fluence. I'm back at it again. Y'all see the energy, double salute. Ain't nothing changed but the day. I will say this, man. I'm absolutely fired up, man. We got the weekend coming up. And also, of course, with the weekend coming up, man, we got Fluence Lounge coming up. We didn't have Fluence Lounge last week because it wasn't no boxing happening, but this weekend we're gonna be live. We're gonna be in full effect. We got Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavides Jr. That fight is going to be absolutely fire. Make sure y'all check out the community board because I'm going to be dropping a question in regards to that fight. So I'm going to make sure I hear you guys' opinion on it. I'm also going to be dropping a video to see who you guys think are going to win. So make sure you guys check that out. You can drop your comments on that as well. But now let's get to the point of this particular video because this video has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the legend, the GOAT, the Hall of Famer Keith Thurman. One of my favorite boxers. I love Keith Thurman to death, man. I can't rave about how amazing of a fighter Keith Thurman is and how injuries took away a lot of his prime. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I still think he's in his prime, even though a lot of people say, oh, he's 34 years old. The injuries took a toll on him. He's not a big name, blah, blah, blah. I would beg to differ because he looked absolutely amazing against Barrios. He looked in great shape. I think despite him missing out on what some people would say is the prime of a lot of boxers, which is that 29, 30, 31, 32. And really, he was doing his thing at 27, 28, 29. It was really between like 30 to like 33 is when he kind of took a hiatus in the problems with the injuries really got him. But that's still a prime when it comes to a boxer, especially a type of boxer stylistically, how Keith Thurman approaches the game where he does not get hit a lot. He fights on the outside. But Keith Thurman, this is why I love Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman was one of those rare fighters, right, where he fought on the outside. Right? He had beautiful footwork. He used beautiful ring control. So technically, he was an outside fighter, utilized his jab, but he was a knockout artist. He had power in both hands. So he wasn't boring. So most fighters who utilize the game plan that Keith Thurman utilizes would be known or looked at as a boring fighter because it's like he's always on the outside. He's always jabbing. He's always staying out of range. He's never really trying to get into a firefight with the opponent. But because Keith Thurman had a real one-punch knockout power in both hands, he was able to fight this way, and while fighting this way, he was still able to be exciting because he was knocking people out on his back foot, jabbing, and that uppercut came up, he would knock a dude out or he would hurt a dude. So Keith Thurman, man, if you guys understand right now what the vibe is, understand, what type of time everyone is on, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, we got the young guns coming up in Boots Ennis, you know what I'm saying, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Conor Benn. I totally understand that, but if you guys are criticizing and disrespecting Thurman, that means you never really watched any of his fights or watched what he did when he was that nigga. When the way we're talking about Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, and the likes of these dudes, that's how we were talking about Keith Thurman about 5 years ago. Okay, so go back, look at it. He was a goddamn beast at a young age. He's still young. He's only 34, 35 years old. Terrence Crawford is 34. Spence is 32. So it's not like this guy, Keith Thurman, one of my favorite boxers. It's not like he's completely out of his prime. It's not like he's an old man. It's just he's been in the game in a public spotlight longer than Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. So he seems older. He's had more injuries. And technically he hasn't had more injuries than Earl Spence after Earl Spence went through, what he went through. But he had a much longer hiatus than Earl Spence. So because of that, there's this weird narrative on Keith Thurman where it's like, well, you're washed. You're not what you used to be because da-da-da-da-da. But when you really look at it, if you look at the top welterweights right now, the guys who are generating money, they're all around the same age as Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman really isn't washed, right? That's my personal opinion. If you guys disagree with me, please drop it in the comments below. Now, with that being said, Keith Thurman is in a very weird position right now, okay? Because he has a name. People are going to watch him fight. But he's at a point in his career where he's too dangerous for some of these top-level welterweights like a Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, Ugas, who can make, some good money fighting the guy, to take the fight with him. And then he's too dangerous for some of these younger guys, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Jerome Boots. Even though I think Boots Ennis would, he would love to have this fight. But if you can see, he's like, oh, well, I'll fight Earl, I'll fight Terrence. But Keith Thurman's name never pops up. Why is this, y'all? Why does Keith Thurman's name never pop up? Why are they trying to back or why are they trying to sideline my guy Keith Thurman when Keith Thurman, he's finally healthy, he's in the greatest shape of his life, and he's ready to fight, and they don't want to give him any fights? What is the reasoning behind this? I don't know. I think it's completely disrespectful. It doesn't make any sense. You want to put all you see Danny Garcia doing his thing still. Earl's doing his thing. Ugas, we haven't heard from him since he lost to Earl, but I'm pretty sure he'll fight next year. Why is it so hard to get Keith Thurman a formidable opponent? What's the reasoning behind it? Black Goose TV family, y'all tell me what y'all think. Drop it in the comments below. We're going to get into this article right now, but before I actually get into the nitty-gritty, the details of this joint, please, man, show your boys some love, man. Hit the like button below. Subscribe to the channel. Road to 5K before the end of the year. I don't know how many times I got to repeat myself, but y'all already know what we finna be on. And then, of course, as always, notification gang, notification gang, notification gang. Oh, by the way, y'all, if y'all wondering too, because y'all see, I'm looking real shiny. You know what I'm saying? The nose was dripping a little bit type shit. Hey, y'all rock with me. I'm almost 100% positive somebody gave me the vid. You feel me? I'm not 100% positive, but I'm 100% positive somebody gave me the vid. So I'm out here. I'm giving extra overtime work to y'all Black Goose TV family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling 100%, but you see, I'm still in the building. I'm still giving y'all content. So that alone should get me a motherfucking sub, man. Road to 5K, like I said. Now, with that being said, let's read this motherfucking article. Let's see if we end up, you know what I'm saying, reading anything or getting some details or getting some information that we didn't know before. But I'm pretty sure I know what's going to come, you know, when it comes to this article, because Keith Thurman has been asking for a big name opponent after the Barrios fight, and no one's talked about him. No one's mentioned him. None of the top welterweights to say anything about Thurman, because we all know Thurman is a too high of risk and too low of a reward, unfortunately, at this point. So Thurman, these young guys need to know I'm not a gatekeeper. Let's get into it. Salute to BoxingScene.com. There's a clear goal that Keith Thurman always intended to accomplish upon return to the ring earlier this year. Serving as a cannon fodder for the next generation is not on the agenda. These young guys need to know Keith Thurman is not a gatekeeper, the former unified welterweight champion said. If they try to find out, they'll learn that the gate is welded shut. And remember, Keith Thurman was a unified welterweight champion. Thurman, 31, 22 KOs, 1-0 decision. Ended a career-long 31-month layoff with a 12-round unanimous decision win over Mario Barrios on February 5th. The fight was his first in suffering his long career defeat against Manny Pacquiao. Even his stay as amongst the best welterweights in the world was interrupted by a 22-month ring absence to recover from separate injuries. Though still good enough to hover near the top before falling short against Pacquiao, a win over Barrios left Thurman in the right frame of mind, even if he had to slightly alter his comeback plans for a 3-fight 2022 campaign, possibly 3 fights within a 12-month period. The obvious short-term goal is to reclaim a welterweight title, though such a path is likely closed off for any contender. Errol Spence Jr. owns the WBC, WBA, IBF, while Terrence Budd holds the WBO. The pair of unbeaten titleists and pound-for-pound entrants are on a collision course likely to take place in November, absent a complete breakdown in current plans, which leaves everyone else in the division to fend for themselves, at least through the early 2023. That puts Keith Thurman, who turns 34 in November, remember, that's a year younger than Terrence Crawford and a year older than Errol Spence. So please, guys, keep this in mind. All you guys who want to talk shit about Keith Thurman, think about all the success. He was a unified welterweight champion at like 27. Earl hasn't done that. Terrence Crawford hasn't done that. Put some respect on Keith one-time's name. He was a unified welterweight champion. That's something that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence has yet to do. So I'm just letting y'all know that. Anyways, however, Thurman is momentarily focused to accept the one role he thought he could avoid upon returning to the ring, waiting on his next assignment. I'm already stuck like Chuck, noted Thurman. We're already into the summer, and it's not like they're lining up fight anyone to fight me anyway. So we have to look at the date. So we have to look at a date that's a little further out right now. 6 weeks ago, we had a legitimate rumor of an earlier date. I'd have been able to grind. I was willing to take a lesser fight just to get back in the ring, but as long as I fight 2 times this year, that will have to be good enough. Get back in October, then hopefully pick up some momentum and have a 12-month span when and where we're fighting 3 times. It will be easier when I get back to my title. So Keith Thurman has been laying out his plans. He's done this since he's announced his return. After the Manny Pacquiao layoff, and he said, I want Barrios, he said, this is what I want to do. He came in looking in absolutely amazing shape, better shape for the Barrios fight than he did for the Manny Pacquiao fight. Absolutely destroyed and put on a clinic against Barrios. And I think that scared a lot of the welterweights. I think they're seeing it. They're like, okay, Keith Thurman is real. He's back. He's healthy. This is not a fight I want, because I'm going to tell you guys this now, and you guys can say whatever the fuck you want. Keith Thurman healthy will give Errol Spence problems and Terrence Crawford problems. Like I said, Terrence Crawford's 34. Thurman's 33. Spence is 32. So this narrative that he's old and washed, shut the fuck up. We want to talk about people ducking. I'm going to talk about Terrence Crawford ducking Earl ducking Terrence Crawford. Let's talk about maybe both of them are ducking Keith. Is that a possibility? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking too much. Maybe I'm being biased. But I'm a very big fan of Terrence Crawford. I think Thurman gives Terrence Crawford fits. I do. All right. I'm not going to get into the reasons why because that's not what this is about. I just want to know what you guys think about this particular video. What do you think about the article? What do you think about what Thurman said? Just overall, man, drop it below in the comments. You already know what it is. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, roll to 5K before the end of the year. Show some love, man. On the Arnold Schwarzenegger side of the game, I'll be back with more boxing. Stay blessed, not stressed. You already know who it is, Fluence Boxing.